Hey there, it's Elizabeth. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to do a video response for Jacqueline. So hello Jacqueline, and I hope that you see this video. So she had a question on one of my videos that I feel a lot of people could benefit from just doing a video for. This is a question that I get a lot, and I would hazard to guess that a lot of people that are content creators for journaling get the same question too. So let's just get started, okay? Her question was that she is a beginner. Oh, and by the way, first of all, Jacqueline, thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it, and thank you for your comment. Secondly, if you like what you see, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified anytime a new video comes out. Okay, so in front of you here are a few samples or examples of journals, and I have been journaling. I'll get to her question in a second. I've been journaling now. This is my 6th year doing this type of journaling, which is in the earlier years it was the Fibonacci, which is just a certain type, a way of journaling. It's based off of the Japanese Hobonichi, and I have videos pertaining to that in my playlists if you want to go back and look at those. And then of late, the last few years, I've done something that I call creative daily journaling. So I took the daily part from the Fibonacci, which I really like, documenting daily. And I'll get into that in a minute, but I needed more room because I like a lot of stuff in my books. I add a lot of stuff in my books, and all of what I'm saying pertains to Jacqueline's question. So her question was, she is a beginner. Do I have any tips on not giving up when it gets boring? And how do I, meaning me, collect all the stuff that I have? Okay, let's just start out with the books. First of all, she also alluded to the fact that, you know, she's not made of money. She does not have a money tree. Fancy that, right? Neither do I. So yes, I will also touch on the subject of how journaling does not have to be an expensive activity, okay? I don't call it a hobby, really, because for me, it's not a hobby. It's just part of my life now. It's something that I have a great passion for, and that I love sharing with you guys. So let me just check and make sure y'all are still rolling. Yes, because this is take 2, okay? I had been in here just rambling on and on, as I do, and I got up because I was like nearly done with the video and my camera had shut off. So yeah, that was pretty irritating. However, the silver lining in that is that I took a moment to sit and really like think about answering this question, and hoping that I answer it sufficiently. Okay, so there are a couple of parts to it. Let me just go over these books for you right now, okay? Generally speaking, when I make my creative daily journals, which I make them myself, I alter a composition book that starts out looking like this, right? And I alter it to look like this, okay? I do have a permanent link in the description box if you want to learn how to make a book like this for yourself. It's simple, it's straightforward, anybody can do it, and it's not expensive, okay? Excuse me. Excuse me again. Okay, I simply expand the spine 2 inches. I sew in 2 signatures. Each of my books holds 2 months. I felt the need to do this because I do like adding a lot of different things into my books. And so I don't want that crocodile mouth, you know, on the side. So yeah, this was the easiest way for me to have books that still fit on a bookshelf and, you know, contain everything that I have for those 2 months that I wrote in my book. Now this one is September, October 2019. I simply put in an eyelet, which is not necessary. You can just poke a hole into the cover, and I tie a ribbon on, and that is what I use for the closure, okay? Now, let me show you. So for the books that I'm using now, I I decided last year that my good friend Brooke, let me get my words out. My good friend Brooke showed me that she had a set of 6 books, dictionaries, these dictionaries, and so I went ahead and purchased them from her. I will put her Etsy store link below. If she does not have like the actual like books in her store, go ahead and email her. She will get back to you and let you know, whatever it is you desire, she will let you know if she has it in her shop. And so I did the same thing, right? I deconstructed the book, I added a 2-inch spine, and then on the inside, every single one of these pages that I put in here is free, okay? Now, what I do in these books, and it shows in the tutorial, is that I take 8 pages, I fold them in half, and that gives me 32 surfaces to write on, enough for 1 month, okay? With an extra page that I use as a pocket to hold some items, okay, that I use within my book. Now, what I mean by free pages, okay, is like this one right here came out of this dictionary. Now, the dictionary wasn't for free. I did purchase it, but generally speaking, I use composition notebooks, and it's either composition notebooks that I have in my stash, or I go during back to school times, which, I use that term loosely now, but I will go during back to school times, and a lot of times you can purchase composition notebooks for like 4 for $1, 25 cents per book or 50 cents per book. So it's, inexpensive, all right? This right here is part of the innard of a composition book. I simply dye it, and I dye it with food coloring. And where do I get the food coloring? The dollar store, okay? So I can probably dye, let me think, each book holds 100 pages, so I can pretty much dye, using one package of 4 colors of food coloring, I can dye about 400 pages, okay, for $1, all right? So, inexpensive journaling. These papers here are from an atlas, free. I got it for free at my local library. Here is a children's book, again, free at my local library. This is a book of floral things, DIY floral, free at the library. This might be music text. Yep, music text. Either free from the library or 25 cents at Salvation Army. I frequent Salvation Army. I try to go on the days that they're having sales. So they might have a book sale, 25 cents a book. So there you have it. Children's book free at the library, okay, and so on and so forth, okay. Now here, this is scrapbook paper. I've been doing this, this type of journaling and stuff I've been doing, like I said, this is my 6th year. But prior to that, I've always been a creative person. I homeschooled my children. I was a school teacher previous to that. So I've always been a creative kind of person. I got introduced about over 20 years ago now to scrapbooking and all that kind of stuff. So I've been collecting things for over 20 years, okay? Now, that's a little bit of a background on the books that I do and stuff like that. Now, we're so many minutes in, and let's just get to Jacqueline's question. Okay, so she wrote, any tips on not giving up when it gets boring? Okay, now, Jacqueline, I'm not sure if you're asking about like if you personally are bored of journaling, or if you feel your pages are boring, or if you feel as though your life might be boring, okay? I get that question a lot, like questions like, I want to journal, but I have nothing to write about. My life is boring, okay? I just, before I came in here, was watching a video, and she no longer does videos anymore, which is really sad, and I went to try to find her Instagram account, and it is no longer active, so I hope she's okay. I would have really enjoyed watching her videos, and I still might go back and watch some of them. But anyway, I believe her name is Tina, and she had a channel called Overall Adventures. I'll put the link below so you can see the video that I watched. And it was a video called Journaling Ideas, My Life is Boring, okay? And it was a really good video, short video, but she got right to the point. So I'd encourage you to watch that. And now let's go back to, boring, okay? First of all, every single thing about you has worth. Every single thing about you, all right? Lives are exciting all the time, okay? And this is from an empty nester, stay-at-home person that barely leaves her house, okay? Now, talk about boring, okay? To other people, that might be boring. To me, it is the life I've always dreamt of, okay? And it is not boring, to say the least, okay? It is not boring, to say the least. There are things in everyday life that are worth taking note about, every single day. There are things that you can find to write about, all right? Whether it's dyeing your hair, whether it's going on a walk with your beautiful daughter, whether it is buying, or finding a spirograph from your childhood days, whether it is going out to eat at a restaurant, or finding, making something with your family, making food with your family, okay? So yeah, I mean, I think it's important to note too, with the whole boring thing, is that we are in a state of social media, especially now during these times. We are in a state of social media and media overload, okay? We're constantly on our phones, we're constantly on our computers, me included. We are constantly watching programs on TV, okay? Because, I mean, let's face it, what else is there to do? Well, there are a lot of things to do. Get your journal out and start creating, right? But, a lot of people posting on those types of things, so, social media, they're posting the happy moments in their lives, the quote unquote exciting moments in their lives, they're not posting about the pity party they just had yesterday for themselves, they're not posting about a frustrating phone call. They're not posting about, these are all the things I have to get done. They're not posting about how overwhelmed they're feeling, I mean, they're posting pictures of sunrises, okay? That's my example because I just posted on IG about a beautiful sunrise I saw with my daughter. And the thing is too, is we have, in the journaling world, right, no matter how you decide to journal, whether it's in just a plain journal book that you can get at the dollar store or get inexpensively at, purchase one instead of making one, we have the choice, right, to write whatever we want to write about, okay? There are so many different ways of journaling, so many different types of journals, so many different subject matters, right? You could have a journal like morning pages, where it's just like a brain dump, you can have that type of journal. You can have a gratitude journal. You can have a faith journal. You could have a life journal, or you could attempt to do something like I do. And trust me, I'm no expert on journaling. I just happen to have a passion for it and love to do it. But I choose to journal about my everyday life, okay? And when I mean everyday life, that's what I mean. I mean what I'm doing from the moment I get up in the morning till the time I go to sleep at night. That is what I write about, okay? And it doesn't matter if it is boring, if it's about folding laundry, if it's about vacuuming, if it's about my husband washed the dogs, which I am so thankful for, you cannot imagine. It's all those things, right? Like, you choose what you want to document, okay? You choose what to share and what to keep private, It's your book. You can do whatever you want with it, okay? You choose your purpose, okay? So that brings me to the next question. My question to you is what is your purpose for journaling? What is your purpose? Do you want to have a gratitude journal? Do you want to have a brain dump journal? Do you want to have an artistic, creative outlet, which includes journaling? Okay, those are some questions you need to ask yourself. Do you want to use a store-bought journal, or do you want to make your own journal? That's a question you should ask and answer for yourself, okay? I'm going to tell you my purpose for journaling, okay? For these types of journaling, or for these types of journals, my purpose for that is to write about and document my everyday life, okay? No matter how boring it is, whatever it is, okay? So far this morning, right? I got up, my husband had folded the towels for me, which was fabulous. He had cleaned up the kitchen for me, again, fabulous. He was making me apple turnovers in the oven, again, fabulous. Okay, yes, I have married Mr. Fabulous, okay? Then, let's see. Then, and this is all before like 9:30. Okay, all of this happened before 9:30. So then I got my coffee and was on the computer answering comments, and then I went for my walk, over 2 mile walk, and then I came home and I filmed my ramble session, and then I uploaded my ramble session, and then I called my grandmother, and then I had my apple turnover, and now I'm in here with you. Okay, so all those things, just those things happened between 6:30 this morning and 9:30. Okay, so in 3 hours, all that stuff happened. That could fill an entire page, right? I could paint a picture of the apple turnover my husband made me. I could I could get a picture of a dog, or, like symbolizing the bathing of the dogs. I could get a picture of laundry and put that on the page. There's so many things that I could write about, and that's just 3 hours of my day, folks. That's the first 3 hours of my day. Was it exciting? Not especially, but I had a lovely walk. I listened to my podcast, and that was interesting. I, of course, woke up to my beautiful, fabulous husband, so that's always exciting in my book. So all of that in 3 hours, guys, come on. So again, my purpose for journaling, so it's to write about the everyday, all right? It is to leave a legacy to whomever might want to get to know me after I'm gone, namely my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, who knows? It might end up in these might end up in a bonfire one day. I don't know. Somebody might line their bird cage with it. I don't know. But my hope is that my kids and their kids would want to get to know me once I'm gone. So that's part of the reason why I journal. I've said it a lot of times. I wish my mother and my grandmother had journaled, because they're gone now and I can't ask them. And I can't remember their memories, only I can remember my memories. So it's important for me to write those things down. I use this as an autobiography. I have got literally over 30 books written now. And it is like just the life of Elizabeth, I do journaling because I enjoy being creative, I enjoy paper crafts, I enjoy stickers, I enjoy all those fun items that you put in a book, right? And I have always loved writing. I just like to write. I like the act of writing. But I also like the act of creating as well. So those are a few of the reasons or the purposes of my journaling, of why I journal. So it's an important question to ask yourself. What is the purpose of your journaling, right? Now, then, okay, so I already went over overall adventures. I'll put that link below to a video called Journaling Ideas, My Life is Boring. I had quoted her as saying, capture you in the right now. Yes, that is what my books do. They capture me in the right now, on that particular day. So Also, I just saw on Facebook today, all right, journaling is cheaper than therapy, all right? I can't remember who said it. Thank you very much for saying it, but it's true. It's true. It's, you know, and that is not to debunk or anything therapy. Therapy is important for those that utilize it, absolutely. But yes, definitely for me, it is a type of therapy for me. It's like art therapy. So also by journaling, you know, you can get things out of your head and onto paper. You get to celebrate your triumphs, right? You get to reflect on your circumstances, whether they're good or they're bad. You know, that's all part of journaling. With creative journaling, you get to create on a daily basis if you have the time. And if you don't have the time, guess what? Do it when you can, right? Do it when you can. Do what you can when you can, all right? And do it with what you have. So that leads me right into her next question, which was, how do I collect all the different things that I have in my book? Okay, let's just take this book for instance, all right? Now, I have more than some, okay, like collections, stash, whatever you want to call it, all right? I have more than some, but definitely less than others, all right? And I've been creating for a long time, all right? I've been creating for a long time, and I've been collecting over 20 years. But here is something very important. I want you to understand this, everybody who's watching. This type of journaling does not, I repeat, does not have to be expensive, okay? In fact, I believe it's one of the least expensive ways of being creative, okay? Do I purchase stuff? Of course I purchase stuff, you know? Of course I do. I mean, have you seen my notepad collection? Come on, folks. And I'm not saying you never have to buy anything for the rest of your life, but it does not, you do not have to have any specific anything in order to journal. You just don't, you know? You get a book, you get a pen, you go to town, all right? I cannot tell you, okay, like most everything that I do in these books, I have learned through YouTube, you know, whether it is doodling, right? Whether it is watercolor, whether it is making marks or making painty papers or jelly plating to make my own painty papers or lettering. I mean, you name it, you know, paper crafting, making tucks, tags, and pockets, using book text to do all those things. I've learned every one of those things from a video online, okay? There's so much out there to learn from. So back to the question of how have I collected everything that I have? Well, that was briefly the answer, but I really want to stress, it does not have to be expensive, okay? I use in my books, let's just look through. These are just an example of security envelopes, okay? They can be used in, in your journal, right, as little pockets, see-through window pockets, right? You can use the inside patterns for collage paper, okay? Let's just take a gander through here and I'll tell you where I got most of the stuff that I have, okay? This right here is food packaging. It was from Crazy Good Crab Dip, and it was crazy good. My daughter had purchased it, made it with her father. I took this. They don't ever throw anything out in my house. I took this and used it as a tuck spot. This right here is a botanical image from a book I got free at my local library, okay, with a donation. Turned it into a journaling tag, right? This right here is a piece from a journal, right, that I was no longer using. So I took the pages out of it, did a little sewing. You don't have to do that. If you don't have a sewing machine, make your own marks down the side. You can still do that, right? And this page was already decorated with all this stuff, so I just made it into a tag. This right here is a napkin that I got from a going out of business sale, you know, from some store. And so I got that inexpensively, right? This is my hair. I frost and tip my hair. This is packaging. I simply put a piece of scrapbook paper on the back and turn it into a tag, right? This will tell me, oh, I dyed my hair this day, you know. Here's a picture of me and my lovely daughter. This is from actually like the packaging from a spirograph that my husband bought me at the Salvation Army for a couple bucks, right? And then I just glued a piece of notepad paper on the back of it and used it for journaling. This pocket was already made in the book itself. This is the background page of the page that's actually in my journal, right? So I had turned it up when I made the book and it made its own pocket. This is from a menu. We had gone out to lunch this day and this I got directly off the menu. All right. These are stickers and such that I get from Brooks at Recreations by Brooke. Let's go backwards. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Okay, this artwork is Brooks by Recreations by Brooke. I had ordered my date stickers, right? She has on her Etsy shop. She also has them as digital downloads. So if you want, you know, the same great artwork, but less expensive because it's just digital and you print them out, go ahead and head over there. These are, I turned this into just where I journaled, right? This is just a journaling card attached onto this. This I actually got, let me get this back in here, at a secondhand store. It's this book right here. So there are 140 quirky gratitude quotes, the whole book, right? I can simply take this out, use it as a tuck, tag, or pocket, okay? I think I purchased it for about $2 at a secondhand store. Magazine clippings. Again, I get all, let me think, every single magazine that I own with exception to Mantra Wellness, because my kids bought me that for Mother's Day. Every single other magazine I have, and I have 6 or more magazine holders, every single one of them came free. Okay, I either go to recyclebank.com or I get them at my library. Totally free. I use them, as you can see, all the time in my book. This is magazine. This is magazine. I love magazines, right? I use packaging. This is free, okay? Free packaging. I know on this day I went and I bought a pair of leggings at Aldi, so I used all of this to make the pocket, right, for the page. This was simply the actual page in the book itself. This is this part of the sewn-in signature. This I didn't finish. This right here, another place, these are magazines from Mantra Wellness, magazine clippings. This is one of the pockets I was talking about. You can either go on, like Patricia Viramontes has a lot of these book text pockets, or you can go on, let me see, Sweet Joey DeFee, she has a lot of great ideas on using book text as well. These are scraps of paper that I had in my stash that I used the background, and I made my own smush paper, which is simply out of Crayola markers and water and a sheet protector, a piece of plastic. Super simple. You can make your own colored paper, right? Inexpensive, you know, and I'll put the link below to that video as well, that tutorial. This right here, I do shop at the Dollar Tree, okay, and I'll tell you why. I do not very often shop at Michael's, Joann's. Well, I never shop at Joann's, and I very rarely shop at Hobby Lobby. If you've been on my channel, you know my feelings about Hobby Lobby, and it has nothing to do with the store. Anyway, I don't buy from big box craft stores, generally speaking. I do buy quite a few things from the Dollar Tree, because I would much rather, let's just take for example, okay, I would much rather spend $25 at the Dollar Tree and get 25 items that I will use in my book than to go spend $25 on 1 to 2 items at Michael's and maybe not use them in my book, you know? So the other reason I like Dollar Tree as well, not only because it's inexpensive, but because you look at things differently, okay? You begin to look at junk mail differently, okay? You begin to look at magazines differently. You begin to look at paper bags differently, okay? This was a paper bag, and I used it as a background for my page, right? So there's so many different ways of getting and gaining materials, right? Like we recycle in our house and nothing really gets thrown into the recycle bin until it passes my eyes first, so I use to answer the question as well as I'm babbling along, how have I collected all the stuff that I collect? Junk mail, recycle bank, older stash, which is like scrapbook paper and stuff like that. Food and other packaging I use all the time. Like I was just showing the other day, last week, in my book here, right? My husband bought me flowers. This is the packaging from the flowers. I'm going to use that in my book. This is from tea. This is from Tim Tams that I got in Happy Meal. I just happened to finish them off and they were delicious. This is the food coloring packaging because why? That's what I did on this day. I dyed a bunch of paper with food coloring. So all of this stuff is going to go on my page and then I will journal about all those boring things I did. Like when I sat and really enjoyed this wonderful tea and these Tim Tams, and with every bite I enjoyed them even more and more, and it made me think of my dear friend Karen down under because she's the one who gave them to me, I'm going to write about how boring it was to sit and make all of these beautiful, luscious, dyed papers. Oh my gosh, I was bored to tears. No, I wasn't. No, I was not bored. Okay. Do you get what I'm throwing down here? Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. My beautiful husband bought me beautiful flowers. That's a special day for me. Okay. Every day with my husband is a special day. So, back to the supplies, shopping bags, making your own ephemera. There's a bazillion sites on here. Make your own ephemera. There's a bazillion channels on YouTube where they show you can make your own ephemera. And looking at old supplies in new ways, looking at things that you have just laying around that you can use to document what happened in your day. Okay, so I do think I'm done rambling. I really hope I gave you guys some ideas on journaling in this way. Again, just a recap. Like, I think it's important for you, first of all, to realize that your life is not boring. It is only as boring as you make it. And that goes for your journal. Your journal is only going to be as boring as you make it. Okay. There are so many things that you can add to your journal that you can illustrate your life with, in documenting your days. Find out what your purpose for journaling is. What is your purpose? Is it for a brain dump? Is it to put the good, the bad, and the ugly? Is it to, put down your negative thoughts maybe and just get them out of your head? Or are you looking more toward a conglomeration of all the things that you like about journaling, whether it be written journaling or collage or mixed media art or whatever, scrapbook, combine them all into one gigantic book to document your everyday life, And then lastly, of course, there are many ways to collect things. And as you get going, you will begin to look at supplies and look at things in a totally different way. Instead of tossing that, shopping bag away, use it to make something to put in your journal. Instead of tossing that business card away, don't toss it, put it in your book. In fact, that leads me to another thing. As I go out about my day, if I happen to go outside the home, right? So like I went to Succulent World last week with my daughter. I made sure to pick up a business card. If I go to the Dollar Tree, I might make sure to pick up one of their brochures on the way out so that I can cut out the little Dollar Tree emblem and put it on my page, right? Whatever I purchase in the Dollar Tree that day, let's say I picked up a notepad, I will use a piece of that notepad on that day to document that I went to Dollar Tree. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So there are a lot of different ways that you can get things for free. Check your local library. Check recyclebank.com. You can get catalogs for free for images and things like that. I didn't mention that before, but yeah, look around you and see what you can use and get those creative juices flowing. Watch YouTube videos, right? Get involved with Facebook groups that have to do with journaling or art journaling or anything. One of the groups I belong to is Recreations by Brooke. That's our Facebook group. It's all about journaling, art, crafts, paper crafts, all sorts of stuff. So, you know, if you're into that and you want to join a fabulous group, look into Recreations by Brooke. Yeah, and I think that's all. So I know this was a super long video, but I think it's an important one. I really do. I hope I was in frame the whole time. There we go. Yeah, I think it's important to document your days. I really do. Like I've said, I'm very passionate about this. I have over 30 some books of passion, okay? I love doing this, and someday someone is going to appreciate it, right? That is not why I do it. I do it right now in this moment in time. I do it for me. I do it because I love doing it. So, yeah. I really hope that helped you. I hope that helped anybody else that has a question about it. Make sure you check the links below. And don't forget, you know, on my main channel, I have playlists, okay? So I have tutorials on how I make various books. I have tutorials on how I dye my papers, like these papers right here, okay? I have tutorials about that. I've got flip-throughs, which are more like storytelling kind of things as I go through my book and explain to you what happened on each day. I have journal with me videos where you can sit and join me and watch me create a page out of literal junk, okay? Literal junk. Like any normal person who like does not journal or whatever, like if my husband came in here, he would look at this stuff and he'd be like, why do you have that? You should just throw it away. No, because each one of these items of junk means something to me. It means something to me, and it means that something special happened on that day. Okay, something special happened on that day, or something fun happened on that day, or whatever. Sometimes something not so fun happens on a day. Okay, can I just show you? Where did I put it? And then you're gonna get this right here on a page, okay? You're gonna get this gal right here looking kind of sad and lonely, and you're gonna get all these words, right? Overwhelmed, confused, decisions, uncertain, okay? I should put uncertainty or something, anyway. But yeah, so, you know, some days it is exciting, some days not so exciting. But in the end, it's a reflection of me. It's a reflection of my life, you know, and my life is worth taking note of. And so is yours. So is yours, okay? Yeah. I think I'm done now. I'm off my soapbox. I don't know. Again, I hope that helps some of you. I hope that answered your question, Jacqueline. And I really hope that you find the joy in journaling. I really do. And that goes for every single one of you. Find that joy in journaling, okay? And if you do, let me know. Let me know in the comments below. You know, check me out on Instagram. You can always tag me in something. Feel free. Yeah, I love to see if you guys are doing journaling and what you're doing in your journaling. I'd love to share that with you. So, again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your love and for your support. Right back at you all. And I hope you have a great day and a wonderful rest of your week. And yeah, happy journaling, guys. Happy journaling. And I'll talk to y'all real soon. Bye for now.